correlation between a surah of the Quran and istikhara? What is the correlation between the two? He says that just how in salah, Quran and to recite a surah from the Quran or a portion from the Quran is necessary for the validity of our salah, is necessary for our salah to be in order, to be accepted by Allah. He says in a similar manner, istikhara is necessary for our worldly affairs to be in order. If we want our worldly affairs to be in order, then it is necessary that we seek istikhara. Ibn Hajar rahmatullah alayhi mentions this point. Now, before we go into the misconceptions and how to perform istikhara, I'll explain the meaning of istikhara and the essence of it. What lessons we learn from this one dua of istikhara. It starts off, Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmik. That, oh Allah, we are saying, and this is a dua. Another thing to understand that istikhara itself is a dua. Oh Allah, I seek the good, I seek the best from you through your knowledge. Astakhiruka bi'ilmik wa astaqdiruka biqudratik. And I seek ability from you through your power. Wa as'aluka min fadlika al-'azim. And I ask of your great bounty, from your bounties, from your favors, from your treasures. Oh Allah, I'm asking you from your treasures. فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرْ وَلَا أَقْدِرْ. For surely I have no power. I have no power, and you have all the power. For surely you have all the power, and I have no power. وَتَعْلَمْ وَلَا أَعْلَمْ. And oh Allah, you have all knowledge, وَلَا أَعْلَمْ, I have no knowledge. وَأَنْتَ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. And you are most knowledgeable of the unseen. In this one point, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawzi rahmatullah alayhi, another very great scholar, he says that when my teacher would explain the dua of istikhara to us, he would say that we learn three things from istikhara. Three things from istikhara. He says number one is tawakkul, hope, reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two is tafweed. Tafweed means to turn all of your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hands of Allah. You are putting yourself in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And look at the dua, look at the wording of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Where he says, we start off by seeking khair, and then right after that you're saying, فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرْ وَلَا أَقْدِرْ. Oh Allah, I have no power. You are humbling yourself in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have no power in front of you. You have all the power, oh Allah. I am going to do this, whatever you're making istikhara for. But outwardly it might seem that I'm doing it, but oh Allah, I understand that you have all the power. If you wish for me not to do this, if you wish for me to do this, then everything is in your hands. I cannot move one step without your permission. I cannot breathe one breath. I cannot take a breath without your permission. I cannot do anything without your permission and without your help, O Allah. You are humbling yourself in front of Allah. And this in itself is the essence of what dua. Why is dua such a great aspect? Why is it such a great portion of our deen? Because in a hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Dua is itself worship. Why? Because what is worship? Worship means, the linguistic meaning of worship, and the scholars say ibadah actually refers and actually means to submit yourself to someone else. To submit yourself to Allah. Right? And in dua, you are submitting yourself to Allah. You are humbling yourself, you are raising your hands, and you are testifying to the fact that I cannot do anything. You are telling Allah, I cannot do anything. Oh Allah, you have all power. This is why dua is so beloved to Allah. This is why it comes in a hadith that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that when a person makes dua, then Allah becomes pleased with that person. And if a person abstains from dua, then Allah becomes angry with that person. Why does Allah become angry? Because outwardly, what are we showing Allah? That we don't need you. Outwardly, this is what we are portraying when we don't ask Allah, when we don't make dua. So this one lesson, that we are humbling ourselves in front of Allah. فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ وَلَا أَقْدِرُ وَتَعْلَمْ وَلَا أَعْلَمْ. That, oh Allah, you have all knowledge, I have no knowledge. Again, you are accepting the fact that I am planning, right? I am trying to do my best in my knowledge, but oh Allah, at the end of the day, you know what is better for me. This is tafweed. You are putting your affairs in the hands of Allah. Oh Allah, you know what is better for me. I don't know what is good for me. Outwardly, this might seem good for me, but you know if in reality this is good for me. In an ayat of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Sometimes you might think that this is bad for you, but in reality it is good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. And at other times you might think this is good for you, but in reality it is bad for you. Right? It is harmful for you. Who has this knowledge? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So you're putting your affairs, tafweed, putting your affairs in the hands of Allah. And this one aspect of tafweed, we can bring this into our life, then what will it save us from? It will save us from depression. How? Because you understand from the beginning that none of this is in my control. So why should I become depressed over something which is not in my control? Everything is in the hands of Allah. I turn my attention towards Allah and that's enough. That's all I can do. Many of our depression, many of our problems will be solved by this. And another is hope in Allah. That, oh Allah, I'm asking, and you have full reliance on Allah. Right? Full hope in Allah, full reliance on Allah. Tawakkul and tafweed. Thereafter in the dua, we say, وَأَسْأَلُكَ مِنْ فَضْلِكَ الْعَظِيمِ. Oh Allah, I ask you from your treasures, from your bounty. No. Allahumma in kunta ta'lam anna hadha al-amr khayrun li fi dini wa ma'ashi. Oh Allah, if in your knowledge this matter, whatever I'm going to do, if it is good for me in regards to my deen and in regards to my dunya, in the near future and in the far future, then oh Allah, you make this easy for me. You make it possible that I do this. And you place blessings in this. What other point do we learn from this part of the dua? Is that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam he's teaching us that don't only look for what is good for you in this world, also what is good for you in your deen, because at times something that might be good for us in this world, it might not be good for us in our deen. The example of this is for some people, if they acquire a lot of wealth, what will happen? They'll become disobedient to Allah. That wealth becomes a means for them to become disobedient to Allah. That wealth becomes becomes a means of them turning away from Allah. And that wealth becomes their destruction in the akhirah, in the life hereafter. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that not only good is teaching us, don't only ask for what is good in this world and what is good for our dunya, but also ask what is good for our deen. Because both are important. And our deen is more important than our dunya. And after that, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَإِن كُنْتَ هَذَا الْأَمْرِ. And if this matter of mine, if it is evil for me, if it is bad for me, if it is harmful for me, then oh Allah, you turn it away from me. You turn it away from me. Don't make it easy for me. Because oh Allah, again, what are we saying? We're saying, oh Allah, that you know what is good for me. You know what is harmful for me. Right? And if this is harmful for me, then turn it away. فَصْرِفْهُ عَنِّي. Right? Turn me away from it and turn it away from me. And at the end of the hadith, what are we asking? In the end of the dua, what are we asking? وَقْدُرْ لِيَ الْخَيْرْ حَيْثُ كَانَ. That wherever I am, oh Allah, you give good to me. You put khair and blessings in whatever I do, and wherever I may be. ثُمَّ أَرْضِنِي. This is the third point that the teacher of Ibn al-Qayyim rahmatullah alayhi says. The third point is رِضَى بِالْقَدْرِ. Rida. To be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To be pleased with the decision of Allah. So before, what do? We make tawakkul. We have reliance on Allah. Then we have tafweed. We turn our affairs in the hands of Allah. We put our affairs in the control of Allah. And number 3 is we become pleased with whatever Allah decides. And this is a quality that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would make dua. That, oh Allah, give me the ability to be pleased with you. One is for Allah to be pleased with us. And it is also necessary for us to be pleased with Allah. Meaning for us to be pleased with the decision of Allah. If we want something and Allah does not give it to us, we are pleased. If we want something, Allah gives it to us, then we are pleased. This is the reality of istikhara, and our time is already over. Right? I'll try to mention the method of performing istikhara quickly. Number one, in certain ahadith, it mentions that you should perform 2 rakat of salah. You should make wudu and perform 2 rakat of salah. And in other ahadith, the 2 rakat of salah is not mentioned. So it is not necessary to perform 2 rakat of salah. It is better to perform 2 rakat of salah. Right? Number 2, after we make istikhara, what do some of us look for? We look for a feeling. We look for a feeling, some wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other people, what do we look for? We look for a dream. We see that I've been making istikhara for so long, but I don't see any dream. I'm not getting any feeling. I'm still confused. I don't know what to do. There's no hadith that mentions that you should get a feeling or you should get a dream. This is a misconception that many of us have. Right? It is not necessary that we see a dream, that Allah gives us a dream. Then what is istikhara? That's the question. In the dua of istikhara, we are not asking Allah that, oh Allah, if this is better for me or if that is better for me. You are asking Allah for this one thing, is this better for me or is this harmful for me? So the scholars say that we have 3 options in front of us. Through your knowledge, you decide what is best for you. After that, you make istikhara for that. You make istikhara for that. Right? You don't make istikhara with one or the other, because then you're going to be confused before and after. And istikhara, in essence, what is it? You're asking khair in that matter. You're not asking, there's nowhere in the dua do we ask Allah that, Allah, give me a feeling of what I should do. You are asking Allah to put khair in what I am going to do. And if there is khair inside of it, then Allah will allow you to do it. And if there's no khair, then Allah will remove it. Allah will not allow you to do it. And how Allah will make means for you not to for you not to do it. Allah will make something happen. And this is the reality of istikhara. And if we implement this, then istikhara will become very easy for us. There's no ahadith, there's no hadith of the Prophet, there's no hadith of the Sahaba where they mention that after istikhara you should get this dream or you should get this feeling. Right? If this is what was wanted, then it should have been mentioned in a hadith. In reality, it's not. Right? Another misconception that we have is that we ask others to make istikhara for us. Hakim Akhtar Sahib rahmatullah alayhi, a very great scholar of our time, right? He says that by asking someone else to make istikhara, you are depriving yourself of a great sunnah. Number 1. And number 2, if it was that we should ask someone else to make istikhara, then should it not have been the Sahaba ask the Prophet to make istikhara on their behalf? Yet did any Sahaba ask Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make istikhara? No. It's not found in any hadith. The Sahaba would make it themselves. And understand there's 2 things here. Right? Yes, you make mashwara with someone. Making mashwara is good. But you don't need to ask someone else to make istikhara. You ask yourself. Right? You make istikhara yourself. Number 3, or another point is that when should we make istikhara? You can make istikhara throughout the day. It doesn't have to be, we have this thing that it has to be right before you sleep. The last thing before you sleep should be istikhara. That's not necessary. It's not mentioned in any hadith. It's not necessary you make it right before you sleep, any time throughout the day. And then what should you make istikhara for? For anything. Not just for marriage. The only thing we make istikhara for is for marriage. Not just for marriage, for any aspect of our life. It might seem, even if it seems insignificant to us, still make istikhara for it. Because then Allah will put khair and barakat inside of it. Right? One person told me that every morning I make istikhara that, oh Allah, whatever I'm going to do, put khair inside of it. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Right? There's a hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he says that you should ask Allah of your needs, no matter how insignificant it is. Even if it is the shoelace. Even if your shoelace broke, still ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. Right? Even if you need salt, ask Allah for it. No matter what it is, we ask Allah for it. And another point is that this dua that I mentioned, the famous dua, it is best to recite this dua. Right? This is the most authentic dua. There is another dua which is very short. Allahumma khirli wakhtarli. Allahumma khirli wakhtarli. This is a dua that many Sahaba would make, and it is mentioned in certain hadith. So it is not even necessary that we make this long dua. If it is something that we don't have time to perform 2 rakat of salah, we don't have time to make this long dua, say Allahumma khirli wakhtarli. Enough. And inshallah Allah will put khair inside of it. Right? So we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the true understanding of istikhara and make it easy for us to bring the sunnah in our life. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.